Assalamu alaikum dear students. This lecture is from the book T1 and we have started chapter number 2. We are learning the basic concepts. This is the part 3 of our basic concept lectures. In this lecture we are going to learn multiplication and division of decimal numbers, their classification, and this lecture is very important, so be attentive. In the work example 8 we are going to multiply different decimals. We are going to learn the concept how we can multiply different numbers with decimals. So you can see that we have the question in which we have to multiply 12.34 with 5.6. So all the things are the same, like 6 4s are 24, so we write 4, 2 here, 6 3s are 18, 2 20, 0 2, and we multiplied as we do previously the simple multiplication. We will not consider this point or this decimal place when we multiply and get the answer 7404 and 6170, and then we have to add them as we do in simple multiplication. The only thing is what we have to remember is the decimal place, that where we have to put this decimal. So this decimal is decided by this rule, is that first see the first number where this decimal place is. So we see that the decimal is 2 decimal place. In the second number it is 1 decimal place. So 2 decimal place and 1 decimal place is added to get 3 decimal place. The answer will carry the point at third decimal place. So 1 2 and 3 we left these 3 number and put the decimal sign over here. So simple multiplication, when we multiply different numbers involving a decimal place, we first just ignore that point or that decimal place, simply multiply them and get the answer. The decimal place decision is dependent on the addition of the decimal places from the numbers and then put it in the answer. The second method of solving this question, we can see that we have the number 12.34. so we remove this point and write 1 in place of that decimal place, and the numbers on the right are 3 and 4. So because there are two numbers, 2 decimal place, so we will write 2 zeros, and the second number was 5.6, so we write 1 in place of the decimal and remove the decimal, and because it was the only number 6, so we write only 1 0. So how many decimals depend on how many 0 we write in the denominator. So this is how first we remove the decimals, and after removing we multiply the numerator with the numerator and denominator with the denominator and divide them with calculator or other way, and we get the answer 69.104. Or if you do it without calculator, you can see that there are 3 zeros in this fraction. So if we have to write it in the decimal place, we will put 1 2 and 3. We will left these 3 number and then we write the point over here 1 and remove this 1000. So this is how we multiply different numbers having the decimals. This is the practice of that concept. We have to multiply 13.56 with 2.4. we get the answer 32.544. So we multiplied these numbers and get the answer 32.544, and then we will see the first number contain decimal after 2 point, the second number contain decimal after first point. We add them, 2 plus 1 3, so the answer will carry decimal after 3 points. First point is 4 4 5, so 1 2 and 3, and the decimal will goes over here. So the answer is 32.544. Again, the second part of this practice question should be solved by yourself and practice this concept. In the worked example 9, we are going to learn the concept of division involving the decimal numbers. So we are going to divide 0.72 with 0.3. The first method is to just make them to the whole number. How you just try to make them to the whole number, like 0.72 divided by 0.3, write them in fraction form, and after writing it, move the decimal to your right. Like if you move it one place in the numerator, you will move 1 point in the denominator. So this 0.72 will become 7.2, and this 0.3 will change into 3. So this is what maximum we can move them to the right. Then we will divide 7.2 with this number 3 and get the answer 2.4. The point or the decimal will be written when we start solving the value after the decimal. Like 3 2s are 6, we will subtract 6 from 7 and get 1. This 2 will be right under here. When we write or when we move this 2 over here, we will point the decimal in the answer section, and then multiply this 4 with 3 to get the answer 12. So the answer is 2.4. Now we are going to practice this concept. So we in the A part we have to divide 0.92 with 0.4. So what we do in the first step is to move this decimal to the right. So 1 point is moved in the numerator and 1 point is moved in the denominator. So it become 9.2 and the denominator become 4. Then we divide this 9.2 with 4, and we in the first step 4 2s are 8, 9 minus 8 is 1. So when we write this 2 here, the point is moved in the answer section, and then 3 4s are 12 and the answer is 2.3. So this is how we can divide different numbers in which decimals are placed without using any calculator. Now in worked example 10, we have the concept of solving the numbers with negative decimals. So in A part we have the question 2.5 minus bracket start minus 1.3. So what we have to do is to first solve these signs. So 2.5, this minus minus is plus, 1.3, and then we will add 1.3 in 2.5 and we get the answer 3.8. In B part we have to multiply these two fractions, and one of the fraction is the positive and the other is carrying a negative number. So what we will do, 0.18 divided by 0.3. So because these two numbers are going to divide with each other, so to divide them we move the decimal to the right, and after moving it become 1.8 divided by 3, and the next fraction is 0.47 over 1.2 and it become 0.47 over, we can move it like that. So so moving them, dividing them, getting the answer, and then simplifying them to get the answer. Now we are going to learn some concepts, theoretical concepts of rational numbers and the real numbers, how different numbers are belonged to different categories. So rational number, we have this elaboration that a rational number is further could be an integer or fraction, a whole number, negative integer, positive integer, or zero. So we will learn this. A rational number is a number that can be expressed as the ratio of two integers a and b, and in the form of a over b, where b is not 0. That means b, or the denominator, could not be 0. It could be any value. That value could be a positive one or the negative one. So rational number could be an integer like -2, -7. It could be a fraction 1/3 or -2/8. Why it could be an integer? Because -2/over 1 is also -2. So in this case b is not 0 as per the definition of the rational number. Then the integers could be a negative integers or the whole number and 0, and the whole number could be positive integers and the 0. Then we have the concept of real number. A real number could be a rational number or an irrational number. Rational number we have learned earlier that can be expressed in the form of a over b, and the irrational numbers contain different signs like pi, roots, cube roots, square roots. So these are the irrational number. A real number could be a rational number or an irrational number. Rational number could be terminating decimal or recurring decimal, and irrational number could be non-recurring decimal. So this is the summary what we learned in the theory of these different numbers, that a real number could be a rational number or an irrational number. Irrational numbers are the non-recurring and non-terminating decimals like the cube, square roots, cube roots, pi. These are all the irrational numbers. On the other hand, rational numbers could be an integer or the fraction. Integers could be the whole number and the negative integers, and the whole number could be a positive integers and the 0. So I hope you would have understand all the concepts that we have learned in this video, in this lecture, and hope you will be keep connected. Please subscribe our channel for more videos. Take care. Allah Hafiz.